Your marriage interview is the final step to getting your green card, and they are also where a lot of couples mess up. And in this video today, I am going to be acting out a real marriage interview situation so that you can see the awkward moments, the red flags, and we can see if you can pick out some of the red flags before I call them out, and the unexpected questions that you may actually get at your marriage green card interview. The point of this video is to help you in your preparation for your marriage interview and for you to know that you need to prepare for this interview because it is not what you may typically expect people to ask you about your relationship. Let's jump in.
Hi, I am Officer Johnson. I will be conducting your interview today. Please stay standing and raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat. So I'm going to start today by asking you questions about yourself and your relationship. Okay, and remember, if you do not understand the question, feel free to ask me to explain. And if you do not know the answer to a question, feel free to tell me that you do not know. Okay, alright, so please state your full legal name.
My name is Jamal Johnson.
What is your date of birth?
My date of birth is January 12th, 1985.
And what is your wife's name?
My wife's name is Amina Johnson.
And her date of birth?
Her date of birth is June 5th, 1991.
When did you two get married?
We've been married for 3 years now. Yeah, 3 years we've been married.
Hi, I am Officer Johnson. I will be conducting your interview today. Please stay standing and raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Hi, I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat. So I'm going to start today by asking you questions about yourself and your relationship. Okay, and remember, if you do not understand the question, feel free to ask me to explain. And if you do not know the answer to a question, feel free to tell me that you do not know. Okay, alright, so please state your full legal name.
I'm Amina Johnson.
What is your date of birth?
I was born on June 25th, 1991.
And what is your husband's name?
And my husband is Jamal Johnson.
And his day of birth?
He was born on January 12th, 1985.
When did you two get married?
We've been married for like 2 years now. Yeah, it was so nice. It's been 2 years. And on our wedding day, we went to City Hall, got married, then went to eat and went to, do a bunch of stuff together. We didn't really get to celebrate that much, but it was still great to be married to him, obviously.
We already have a red flag, not even minutes into the interview. Can you spot the red flag? USCIS expects both spouses to have basic details about their relationship, especially the date of marriage. Knowing when you got married is a huge thing. So not getting that right in your marriage-based green card interview is a major red flag for the officer. If your answers don't match here, expect the rest of the interview to be tougher. Here's a tip to help with this. Before your interview, go over key dates, your wedding date, when you met, when you moved in together. Those are important, and it's really good to be on the same page.
So how did you two meet?
Oh, so I met my wife at a friend's barbecue. The friend invited me. I went. She was there. We started talking, and one thing led to another, and we just never stopped talking.
And what's the name of that friend that you went to their barbecue?
Oh, my friend's name is John. It was John's barbecue.
And you two work together at the same company?
Yeah, we work together. Yeah, we work together at the same company. Yeah, we work together.
Yeah, so how did you two meet?
Okay, so we met on Instagram, and he jumped in my DMs and we talked, and he seemed like a nice guy. And then we met in person, officially met in person, at a cookout, a barbecue cookout, when one of my friends invited me to her friend's barbecue, and he was there, so we started talking.
And what's the name of that friend that you went to their barbecue?
It was, what's his name? What's his name? John or James? It's a J name. It's a J name. I know for sure it was a J name. I think they work together but my friend invited me to a different, someone's thing. So I didn't really know the host, but it was nice seeing him in person. Yeah. So that's the first time we met in person. But we met on Instagram before that.
Do you see the red flag there? Having conflicting stories about how you met is a major red flag for USCIS. Listen, USCIS officers don't expect you to have the exact same details or to remember things exactly the same way. However, the general story has to align. So if you're saying that you met at a barbecue that your friend threw and your spouse is saying that you two met through Instagram, you better have a good explanation of why those two things can be true at the same time. Make sure that your story aligns and that you are mentioning the important details of the story, things that can be confirmed by a USCIS officer. Remember, the truth is always the best policy in these interviews. You said that you were going to tell the truth. You swore an oath, tell the truth. So how you met, even if it's something embarrassing, even if it's something that you don't really like talking about, in your interview, you need to tell the officer how you actually met, because the truth, you don't forget. Okay? You don't forget the truth.
So what side of the bed does your spouse sleep on?
That's a little intrusive to ask what side that the bed that I sleep on, but yeah, my wife sleeps. My wife sleeps on the left side, I sleep on the right side. Always.
And who typically wakes up first in the morning?
Who wakes up first? It depends. It's typically hard, though she typically wakes up first.
Oh, because of her work schedule. What is her typical work schedule?
Her work schedule, she typically works like 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. on most days. So that's why she will typically wake up first.
So what side of the bed does your spouse sleep on?
Well, he sleeps on the right side. I sleep on the left side. Always. He just likes sleeping right next. It's so weird. He's just like sleeping right next to the window, and I like sleeping right towards more the door. So he just loves. You can't take his side on the bed. Okay? So that's how we do things. He sleeps on right by the window because it gets hot. It's so weird. He gets hot at night, so he always has the window open, or we have to have AC on if it's really hot at night. But yeah, he just likes the right side.
And who typically wakes up first in the morning?
Well, he does technically wake up first in the morning. So yeah, I would say him. He wakes up first.
What is her typical work schedule?
Oh, my work schedule, I typically work 7 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. But sometimes it changes. Sometimes, I pick up hours and things like that. But yeah, typically 7 to 3 p.m. Monday to Friday-ish, yeah. But again, I sometimes pick up hours. Yeah, exactly. So sometimes I pick up hours. So it just depends. It really just depends on the day.
One thing I notice is that it is the everyday details that tend to trip people up. These questions may seem small, but to the officer, mismatched answers can mean that you two do not live together or that you are not sharing a life together. Remember that the officer does not get to see you and your spouse on a day-to-day basis. This interview is the only way they get an insight into your day-to-day life together. So when they ask questions that you may see as intrusive, like what side of bed do you sleep on, just know they are just trying to get a feel of you and your spouse to see, is this relationship real based on what I'm hearing? Remember, it's only based on what they're seeing on paper and what they're hearing and seeing in the interview. Here's the tip. Do not just memorize facts. Talk through your daily routine. You know what you do on a daily basis, especially the days leading up to the interview. Focus on the details that you would only know by living together. That is what's going to make all the difference for the officer.
So, do you and your spouse share a bank account?
We don't share a bank account. We kind of keep our finances separate.
How do you pay for your day-to-day expenses?
And we just, pay for things. Well, for things like rent, we typically split that, or dependent on if she doesn't work a lot that month, then I would cover most of it. And then depending on if she has to, do a whole lot of other things with her money, then I would cover most of the expenses, but we tried to split it pretty evenly. But yeah, she, her and her family, they have so many expenses, and she sends them money to help with that. And there's so much going on, but the day-to-day expenses ends up falling on me on the months that they need extra help.
Do you file taxes together jointly?
But what can you do? Do we file taxes? Well, we just got married, so we haven't had a chance to file a giant tax return yet. But I think we would in the future. We just haven't, because we got married this year, so we haven't had the chance to file a giant tax return yet.
So, do you and your spouse share a bank account?
Yeah, when it comes to the bank account, we just never got around to it. I have my own bank account. He has his own bank account.
How do you pay for your day-to-day expenses?
And we just pay for things when we need to. And sometimes he would pay more of the things just because, I may have more expenses, or I didn't pick up enough hours or things like that. Sometimes I send money to my family, so then he has to cover more of their expenses. But that doesn't really happen that often. But I definitely say that we share things equally most times, yeah.
Do you file taxes together jointly?
Well, I filed taxes last year, but I did that by myself. So no, we haven't filed taxes together. I think probably this year we will file taxes together, because last year we weren't really married yet, and it just didn't seem like we could file taxes together since we weren't married last year. So this year, though, I think we're going to be filing together.
Remember, just because you don't have a joint bank account or you haven't filed taxes jointly yet, does not mean that your case is going to be automatically denied. Here, it's not really more of a red flag, it's more of a yellow flag, because remember, you do not have to have joint financial commingling and all of that in order for an officer to approve your case. However, you still have to show that you are sharing a life together, even if you do not share a bank account, or at least be prepared with other documentation that shows your life together, like photos, mail, insurance policies, travel documents, things like that, that really show the officer that even though you haven't taken that step of getting a joint bank account or getting a joint lease together, that you are living your life together as a couple. It is really important to know that USCIS interviews can seem scary, but this is your opportunity. This is your chance to show the officer that you know your spouse better than anyone else, and that you and your spouse are building a life together. Paperwork can only show so much. Your interview is that opportunity to show it to the officer, to answer their questions, and to show them that your marriage is real. After your interview, if the officer does not believe that your marriage is real, or questions certain things, if there's inconsistencies in your answers, that can lead to a notice of intent to deny or a referral to the FDNS unit, which is basically the fraud investigation unit. So you want to make sure that you are taking your interview very seriously, that you are preparing for your interview, and you are taking steps to make sure that you are ready to show the officer your marriage. The best way to succeed in a marriage-based interview is to be prepared, be honest, and to be consistent. Consistency is what is going to win the day. If you and your spouse are inconsistent, you are more likely to end up in fraud investigation. If you are going through your own marriage-based immigration case and you are scheduled for an interview, or you know you have an interview coming up and you want to do a mock interview where we sit with you, review your documents ahead of time, and ask you questions where I pretend to be the officer. Again, this is preparation, right? Having someone outside of you and your spouse ask you questions about your relationship, and then basically give you a result based on how you did in the mock interview. If you are interested in a mock interview with me, go ahead and schedule a strategy session on my website so that we can see if that is the best option for you. And if it is, we can schedule a date and time for the mock interview. And you get my analysis of how you did at that mock interview.